Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon, and I think this will be our last playthrough of the DLC, finally completing the Ork Hunters. I was able to complete this one without using any mods on the very hard difficulty, but again, this was the first series I uploaded, so the quality is quite poor and quite painful to go back and watch. So some subscribers did request that I go back and do this, and now that is what I'm going to do for you. So we're going to do the Ork Hunters here. In the immediate aftermath after the Second War for Armageddon, hordes of feral orcs and other sinister threats plague the devastated world of Armageddon. Take command of the Armageddon Ork Hunters and eliminate any who would impede the reconstruction of this once great hive world. And this one is actually doable on the very hard difficulty, and it's actually kind of enjoyable. Now I'm not going to do that because it requires you to do a lot of reloading and turns, because it's pretty much an all infantry force, pretty similar to how the Battle of Golgotha works, but it's more balanced, because what you end up having to do for these guys is have a good mix of a little bit of a front line with a bunch of machine guns overlapping, so they get a bunch of reaction fire, because you're going to be doing infantry on infantry combat vast majority of the time, and then there will be a few vehicles, and I use the rocket launchers for that. But overall, I still think that playing on the hard difficulty is by far the most enjoyable experience, because very hard is just frustrating to impossible depending on which DLC you are playing as. So if you are unfamiliar with how this works, if you are playing on the easy difficulty, you do get 200% requisition and 200% experience, and the AI units have minus 50 models per squad. So really, unless you're purely wanting to just blow through this game and see what the story offers, there's no reason you should play on easy. It's too ridiculously easy. It's not an enjoyable experience. You get way too much experience, way too much requisition. You can pretty much one-shot almost every squad. I do not recommend it. The normal difficulty is actually truly a normal difficulty on this game. And so what you do is you get 100% of the requisition and experience, so pretty much baseline amounts, and then the AI get no buffs. If you're going to play on the challenging difficulty, you get 80% of the requisition, but you still get 100% of the experience, and then the AI units start to get buffed by having 10 additional models per squad. On the hard difficulty, which I think is a sweet spot, where there's still a couple of maps that are a little bit challenging, you may have to tweak your forces a little bit here, know what your objectives are, so and it's a little bit challenging, like I said, and still in a fun way. You get 70% of the requisition, so now you're having a 30% requisition debuff. You still get 100% of the experience, and now AI models start to get 20 models per squad bonuses. And I think if they just left it here and left this as the hardest difficulty, this would have been a perfectly fine issue. But then if you go on to the very hard difficulty, you still get 70% of the requisition, 100% of the experience, but then the AI model buffs go from 20, which is the hard difficulty, to 50, and that's ridiculous. Maybe if they did it another 10 to get it up to 30, that would be something, but by putting it all the way up to 50, you really have to just click and reload every turn, every attack if you get a bad roll, because you need to be able to kill the models. Because at a 50 unit buff, you need to make sure you're killing enough, or else you're fighting squads that may have 200 plus models, and you can sit there and attack them with units, 4, 5, 6 units before you can get the squad kill, and then if you don't wipe them out, they'll replenish and get up to like 100 models, even with the reduced reinforcement penalties with having your units engaging them. So in that aspect, it's really frustrating, especially if they just decide to corner cap in a bunch of buildings or difficult terrain where you can't get in there except with your infantry, and if they're a couple deep, then you can't even hit them with artillery. And it just makes you suffer so many losses, because when you're fighting with squad that has 16 models against a squad that has 250, you're going to suffer terrible losses, even if you're armored. So like your Terminators will get wiped out by Gretchen. It feels really bad, and therefore I do not recommend doing that. Now the baseline game for Armageddon is very doable on the very hard difficulty, because by the end of it, as long as you're not playing like an idiot, you'll be able to get pretty much a full Titan squad, and you can just tear through the map with that, because the Steel Legion has the best Titans in the game. And as long as you engage them at the range 3, I think with the Reavers, which are they have Apocalypse launchers, so they can really snipe down things from far, and then they have 2 range 3 weapons, I think, as well. So it just allows you to get tons of model kills, and then they're so heavily armored, they're difficult for most of the AI units to do damage to you. And you can back them up with snipers to get your range of 4. You've got Chimera command squads, which are some of the best command squads in the game, or Salamander command squads, because they have a range 3 weapon, and they are armored, and they can buff everybody up. So definitely a very doable experience. So But with that, we will get started on our campaign here with the Ork Hunters and see what we can do. Oh, and then also I'm going to have the Fog of War enabled. The reason for this is it actually makes the game easier by having the Fog of War activated. And the reason for that is the AI will also be able to see everything on the board, even though they technically are able to see it anyways. But what happens if you have any infantry or anybody that's weak within a visible, like a movement and attack range, then all the AI units will swarm that unit, because this game is definitely, the AI is set up to swarm and focus fire down units, and if you have weak infantry, they'll just immediately be annihilated. And when you're using things like snipers where you need to keep them alive and they're very squishy, the AI will just run in there and kill them like every turn. So it can be very frustrating. Whereas if you have the Fog of War on, as long as you're out of the unit's vision range, then the game pretends that it doesn't know where those units are. Now sometimes it does, but that'll allow you to keep your squishy units alive at distance while being able to snipe down the enemy units. And then I will have the undo button activated as well. The reason for that is it's extremely easy to accidentally misclick in this game, and the way it's programmed really makes it so you can't abuse the undo function. So it's not like you can move multiple units and then undo or attack, and if you don't like it, undo that turn and re-roll things. Pretty much if you move a unit and you haven't discovered any enemies, you haven't moved them into any zone of control, and you haven't unclicked them, you can then click the undo, and that'll move your guide back. Now I suppose technically you could abuse that with one unit, just to scout the map with every movement range to see where guys are, but I don't think most people are going to be doing that. But if you do discover somebody, crash them into a unit, or you no longer have them selected, then the undo function gets nullified and you can't. So you can't sit there and move a bunch of units and then undo a bunch of turns back to back. It's just one unit at a time. So with that, we'll get started. The second war for Armageddon is over. The Adeptus Astartes have left, as is typical of their kind. I do not blame them, for like the Inquisition, they are few. The galaxy is vast, and there are always new threats they must counter. But just because Thraka is vanquished, we cannot rest on our laurels. The Ork tribes are broken, but not all were killed or even escaped off-world with Thraka. As a veteran officer of the Steel Legion, I have summoned you to what will become Cerebra base, I guess. I need the Ork Hunters, men like yourself, experienced in fighting the greenskinned filth. Cerbera? I'm still not sure how to say that. Without a strong leader to bind them like Thraka, the orcs still on Armageddon have gone feral. They sulk in the mountains and wastes. But it is here, in the equatorial jungle, the feral orc menace is strongest. If we don't flush them out and purge Armageddon now, we will never be rid of the Xenos taint. That is your task, Commander. But first we need a staging area, a place to allow our forces to strike deep into the infernal jungle. The base is not yet fully established. You must protect the perimeter until it is operational. Perimeter alarm. Orcs attacking. Defend the base from attack, and then capture the victory hexes. I remember when I was doing this on the very hard difficulty, I must have had to reload that turn probably no less than 15-16 times before I didn't suffer a squad wipe. Because these models, you know, they have 60 now, but you know, add another 30, it's 90. And what the big thing is you got to be careful on who you have for the support fire. So like when all those infantry were attacking the command or the regular squad there, because the rocket launcher was the one that was getting the reaction fire, it wasn't killing enough models, and so they ended up getting damaged. Whereas if it would have just been the heavy machine gun here, it would have been much more effective. We'll just start getting more of these machine guns out. poor boys moving around. See, the machine guns just have so many shots. Oh, alright. Let's go. Oh! So much for 1 damage, you bastard. Try to get that range 3 to see if we can get the bolters to do some stuff for me. Just have those tarantulas keep shooting. Yeah, definitely a rough start here. Vanquisher's a heavy vehicle weapon with range 4. Oh, they will probably kill him. Suppose I can bring you over here to try to shoot, and then if they do attack him, he can do some reaction fire. There we go. Good. Now, I'm not sure why my vision is so poor, because these are snipers. Can get the kill. Alright, start restoring their morale. Start running you up here. I think we need to start shifting northward. I can definitely live with that. The last of the Xenos, we should follow their trail and attack the staging grounds. So let's see, we're going to have like 8 turns to get up here. Alright, so there's nobody over there. Still holding that spot. We'll err on the side of caution. And just slowly advance. These orcs have a visual range of 2. So as long as I stay out of that range, we should be good. Start moving these guys up. And looks like this game is going to be crashing too. So yeah, I don't know what has changed where all of a sudden I have all these instability issues on this DLC. Because I've gone through those other ones and had 0 issues, but for whatever reason this one and the Blood Angels, it seems to crash. I guess I just bring my command squad up, see if I can discover anybody. Ooh, Death Dread. well, let's keep it... Oh, so these guys are nerfed. So sniper squads only have a visual range of 2. Yeah, flamers have a range of 2. And they actually only have an initiative of 4, so that's not great. Start running him over this way. Don't know why it keeps crashing. It's driving me nuts. I'm going to do the same turn over and over again. Alright, yeah, that's right. So there was this guy over here. So I guess let's start shifting you over. Now, unfortunately, I think those trees and buildings are going to be blocking the line of sight. I do not want to activate him, because he'll be able to kill pretty much everybody I've got. Yeah, see, those damn buildings are still blocking my line of sight. I have to assume he's got guys over here. So we'll just keep trying to get guys into location here. So we'll kind of start advancing us forward. Nope, nobody's in that camp. Bring the flamers to here. We can see those guys. So let's just start shooting into them. Ah, just uncovered another one. Use those heavy bolters. I guess we're committed at this point in time. Alright, he's down. Unfortunately, we've now discovered another guy. So try to set up some overwatches here. Hopefully it won't just trigger everybody to start coming at me. Which very well could happen. Oh, he's even got artillery over here. And I just fell into another guy. Alright, that's a bummer. So they're coming for me. Nothing too terrible, though. Reinforce you there. You're still here. I could have the flamers get in there. There, I think that should protect us from his vision. Maybe we'll just sit back here. Restore your morale. Alright, let's bring you into here. Discovered those guys. You can keep shooting into these guys. Good. And we'll start shifting you over. Assuming we're going to be getting into some fights. We'll start shifting you over to attack these guys. Our morale is starting to drop. good, there's nobody in the building over there. Start moving that other tank up. Alright, so they are getting activated and starting to come towards us now. So it looks like there's different builds for these orcs. Some have bows, in which case they're range, and other ones just have melee attack. And all of the orc hunters have dual range and melee attacks, it looks like, with the scalper ability. So that significantly increases the damage they can do. And therefore they're much more viable than the standard unit. Start moving you over. Let's see, so I got 6 turns. I've just got 2 of these places to capture, so we should definitely be able to do this. I think we get another company coming here. Nobody else is coming for us. Oh shit, there's a lot of guys over here though. I was feeling pretty confident. Alright, well, we got the orc infantry here, so let's move in and do that. Get you down here. Get the artillery shooting. Now, I'm not very excited about all these guys over here on me. Guess I can bring you over here and shoot there. Start setting up some Overwatch situations here. Try to weaken them down a little bit. If I bring you down to here, can you get the kill? You can. Alright, that might have just saved me. Reinforce the flamers. Start getting the command squad up here. Alright, so they are moving out on me. Trying to recapture that point, knowing that that's where I'm going. Alright, there's more guys down here. I don't know if he's going to try to capture that point back or not, though. Alright, another one's down. Those guys have already attacked, I guess. Alright, so we're going to have a vehicle over here with the artillery. You start focusing those guys down, move you there in case they decide to come and fight you. Alright, I do need to be a little more aggressive here. I'm going slow. You can take those guys out. Alright. Keep shooting down the Death Dreads here. I'm committed, I need to drop them. Pretty much just need one more attack. Here we go. Oh, you let me down. Alright, here we go. Infantry. And just skipping the turns, trying to milk it for some requisition. Alright, flamers in. Captured. Alright, nice easy victory there. Definitely got to be careful with these snipers though. They've got good range. They still have a range of 4, but they only have a vision of 2. So really it's your company commanders that are going to be the main scouts in your army here, which is unfortunate because they're 400 points each, so they keep getting bombarded, and that's chewing through my units pretty quickly here. I'm going to have to decide what I want to do about these flamers versus the regular orc infantry here. Because I do like that the regular infantry have the ability to have melee, whereas the flamers do have more attacks here, it looks like. So 3 and 3, but then these ones have more armor piercing. So I'll have to look at cost to compare. Well done, the base is secure and operational. I am Harkonnen, once of Yarrick's retinue, a veteran like yourself at killing orcs. Inquisitor Horse assigned me to this duty, and it's one I relish. If I can serve the Emperor by hunting orcs, then I am his most faithful servant. As for the Inquisitor, he has been called away on an urgent matter, no doubt stuff far beyond our tithe grade. We have other concerns anyway. We are receiving reports that orc raiders are attacking a refugee camp at the edge of the jungle. They are already calling us Ork Hunters, so let us begin the hunt. Retain control of at least one victory hex while recapturing all other victory hexes. Yikes. Lots of orcs there. Looks like we're coming in from the west side here. As you can see, our guys are already getting pretty decent experience. What do we all have here? So we do have access to artillery. So these guys cost 200. Flamers cost 50 extra. I think I'm actually gonna... Now the thing that's nice about the flamers though is they are pretty good against vehicles. But I think we'd rather have you go and become regular infantry. Given all the killing that we're going to have to do, though, I think going with the support fire may be a better idea. We've got our 2 commanders. We've got all these points left. So if that's the case, I wonder if it doesn't make sense just to convert these guys all into fire support. I only got 50 points left. I did not really find that these tanks worked out well for us here, so part of me kind of wants to can them. But then if we have to fight vehicles, because I don't remember how much vehicle fighting there is in this game, if it makes sense to do that or not. Because honestly, going with some basilisks may not be a bad option as well. I mean, the problem with the destroyers is they're powerful, but... Alright, let's see here. Let's can these guys. Because they were new. Let's get that. That gets us right to 300. Ah, they're 450. That's the part that I wasn't understanding. Basilisk is 800. Well, maybe we save up our points then and go with some artillery. Or I could get another sniper unit, which is 350. That may not be terrible. What do these guys got? Missile launcher, 75 strength. That will give me more points back if I just turn these guys into destroyers. Maybe we do that in the short term. Because at range 3, I'd rather have these guys be attacking with our support fire. So that'll give them one more range to be at. And then maybe we save up for a basilisk. Because I do think I want to go with those artillery pieces for when I need to get some kills. So I think that's how we'll do it. Because they should still be able to get experience. I mean, I would rather have basilisks, wouldn't I? Than these tanks. But then it is nice having guys that are good at sniping at range 4. Because if everything's range 3, they're going to be fighting each other. However, the basilisks will bypass that issue. I'll have to think about it. I'm going to call it quits here for the day. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe to encourage me to post more content for you. Have a great day.